Good morning. Good morning. This is Small Talk Arkansas. We're your hosts, Jason Martin.
And I'm Tessa Wilmans.
And we are coming to you live this morning from the Coronacation Kitchen Table Studio.
We are here again.
Here again, episode 2. Today is Tuesday, March 31st.
We made it through.
We made it through. The first episode did not go off without a hitch.
It didn't, but we learned a thing or two.
We learned a lot.
Yeah, we did. So
everything that worked through dress rehearsals didn't work through
in real life.
In real life,
it didn't. That happens sometimes. But but we're back again for another day. We appreciate you guys being with us.
We do. We appreciate everybody, all of you guys that subscribed to the channel yesterday, that have liked us on Facebook. We love y'all and we appreciate it. Keep sharing it with your friends. We appreciate all of that. All right, so we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about the coronavirus.
You got some more facts, huh?
Arkansas. We're just going to cover the stats, kind of see what the difference is today versus yesterday.
Give us the dates.
So Arkansas right now, it's 10:19 a.m. at the time of this recording. So this is the most up-to-date news that are stats that are out right now by the Arkansas Department of Health. There's 508 positive cases in Arkansas right now. So we're
over that 500 mark.
We broke that 500.
We knew it was coming.
Said 24 to 48 hours, kind of what we thought, and we hit it in 24.
Yep.
We've had one more death. We're to 7 now in the state, and our hearts go out to those families that are having to deal with loved ones that they're losing during these times. It's tough. You can't really come together as a family and still do social distancing and those.
That's got to be hard.
I can't imagine.
Got to be hard.
The loss of a loved one. Moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, and then you can't really
celebrate their
life the way that we typically would under other circumstances. So anyway, Arkansas, we had 59, an increase of 59. So it's a little over 10% jump from yesterday to today in positive cases. And just one additional death to get us to 7. The country as a whole, when you look at the U.S. statistics on this, the same data, the U.S. went from 144,000 to 164,000. So we saw a little over a 20,000 jump yesterday. Actually, 20,047 cases jump. So we're still the epicenter of the world. We're still, the U.S. is in the heart of this pandemic right now. The deaths yesterday went from 3,100 nationwide, 2,575 on Monday to 3,170 is what they're reporting this morning. So 595 more deaths as a nation. Those numbers are still low for what we're going to see. What's coming, what the news tells us, the hospitals are full. Talking about it, county by county here in Arkansas, as far as tier 5 counties or counties on the map that the Department of Health that have 20 or more positive cases. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
that have 20 or more
counties now that have 20 or more cases. Pulaski still by far is the leader. We're at 98 cases in Pulaski County. So, I expect we'll definitely break 100 today. I would imagine we're going to get to that 3-digit column, and we're realistically the only other county in the state that's, I guess second is Claiborne, and they've got 58 cases in Claiborne County. So
we're leading the pack.
We're leading the pack, but you look at...
And that's not necessarily a good thing.
It's not. When you look at the difference, though, in Claiborne and the population there, and then you look at the population in Pulaski County, you would, it would seem that the stats per capita, per population there, that they have a higher contagion than we do. So, pat ourselves on the back, Pulaski County residents, even though we're leading the pack in the state of Arkansas, you know, we're not doing terrible right now. The U.S. data that I pull from that we talked about yesterday hasn't updated today as the time of this show, so we're going to skip kind of the state by state data. But as of yesterday, you looked at Texas and Louisiana by far were states that border Arkansas that, you know, we're seeing a lot of this. In other news right now, some additional things that have come up out of the coronavirus in Arkansas. The Arkansas DFA, the Department of Finance Administration, waives penalties for late vehicle registration renewal through April the 16th. Also, Walmart's now taking all employees' temperatures before work, so so that's a good thing because they're, you know, they have a high risk of being able to get coronavirus because they're in contact with the general population
is higher than the rest of us right now.
It is. It's also could be an epicenter for infecting a lot of customers.
Right, you are.
So
people still got to go get their groceries and get their necessities.
Doing these tests, I mean, it's kind of common sense from a standpoint of this is a place where, you know, we still have a lot of inside 6 feet. There's a lot of people that are, you know, not necessarily, you're not social distancing when you're standing at a cash register and someone's cashier is right there.
Right there. And I've heard that the 6 feet, like maybe that's a thing and maybe it's not.
It's new news every day.
It really is.
So other news in the state, the Arkansas Repertory Theater, it's closing again. They've, you know, this time of the economy, the impact on donations to them, it's affected them again. So they're going to close their doors. They do, you know, we hope that they'll figure this out.
Yeah, we do.
After this and put together some funds and be able to open back up and provide us that culture that they provide in Central Arkansas and provide the state. You know, but this goes just back to, you know, kind of the story a week or two ago. I guess it was last week, probably. All of these days kind of blend together. They're kind of running together. But, you know, P.F. Chang's out in West Little Rocks closed their doors, not just, you know.
For the time being, but indefinitely.
But indefinitely. They're done.
Donezo.
You know, hate to lose P.F. Chang's.
And those lettuce wraps.
The Little Rock Club, they said last week that they're gone after being in a staple in downtown Little Rock for banquets and functions and things like that.
Yeah,
it's top of the region's tower, and they're no more.
It's a tough time for. I mean, I was about to say small business. P.F. Chang's isn't small business. It's a tough time for business in general.
It's a tough time for business, without a doubt. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in a segment. Our shit we're into right now is how kind of tough this is on businesses. Our special guest today, we have Lonnie Madar. Lonnie is a speech pathologist, and she is a healthcare provider that's, you know, out on the front line right now dealing with both potential cases of coronavirus. And so you guys stick around and we're going to have her shortly. She'll be on the show today and we'll get some insight on what this is doing to her. And then later in the show, again, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, you know, how this has affected the economic standpoint of our livelihoods, our businesses, and, you know, kind of what we're doing right now. And maybe some of you are small business owners and are, you know, feeling the anxiety and the pain of what to do now. And we're going to try to give you some things that we're doing that you may not be aware of, or, you know, the information changes daily. So we want to give you what's
the most up-to-date we've got.
Up-to-date that we've got, and kind of let you know where we are with that.
Yep. So if you guys like what you're hearing, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video? We'd really appreciate it.
All right. Right now, we are going to have our special guest, Lonnie Madar. She'll be calling in just any second, but she is a licensed speech pathologist. She's a frontline medical provider, and she's going to call and give us some insight on what's going on right now out in the world of frontline healthcare.
Yeah. We are super excited to hear from her.
Hey, Justin. How are you?
Good morning, Lonnie. How are you? This is, we got Jason and Tess.
Hey.
Hi, Tess.
Thanks for being on Small Talk Arkansas.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
So, as we shared, Lonnie's a licensed speech pathologist. She's a frontline medical provider. And Lonnie, I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself and what you do, and just share that with our listeners, please.
Sure, Jason. Well, like you said, I'm a speech pathologist. I work on the medical side of the field. Specifically, I work in the home health sector of speech therapy. And what I do is basically I'm part of a multidisciplinary care team that provides care for patients in their home after they leave the hospital or rehabilitation, or sometimes just have an exacerbation of a current illness. So, anyway, so we're seeing lots of changes with recent events of COVID-19 and lots of concerns coming up there.
So you work inside the patient's homes.
Yes.
So you're seeing them in their location.
In their environment.
You don't know necessarily who they've been in contact with, who's been in and out of their place, or is there procedures and policies in place right now to protect you as a healthcare provider to limit that and to track that?
What our company is doing is we are doing, besides our standard precautions that we are doing anyway, we are doing pre-screening. So when we call to schedule our day in the mornings, we are screening our patients and we're asking a series of questions to determine if there's an increased risk factor in that patient's home that could present additional risk to the staff. And if there is, then we are making changes to increase precaution and increase infection control to try to keep those risks down as much as we can.
Sure, absolutely. Is it scary going into these homes? I mean, during this time, is that something that you have in the back of your mind? That's a fear that you may catch this, you may, come down with coronavirus being in front of a patient, and
or
then
an unfamiliar environment, bringing that back to your loved ones.
Well, I wouldn't say I fear it, but I would say there's additional concerns. That being said, there's always concern of infection control. COVID-19 is not the first virus that we've been exposed to. There's tons of other viruses that are going around, and so that. But the new virus and the unknown about the COVID-19 and how it's transmitted and how it's transferred and all of the questions that are still hanging in the air, it does present with additional concerns. As a healthcare provider myself, of course, I have concerns about coming into contact and then carrying something back to my family or someone in my household or my loved one, and particularly the group that tends to be at more at risk. But that seems like it's changing a little bit, that dynamic of who really is at risk, and it seems like that gap is closing down a bit. As far as anxiety among home health care providers or just healthcare providers in general, I think that it's exacerbated by the COVID-19. But again, we're all supposed to be using a certain element of precautionary behavior anyway.
Right.
So we're implementing that. We're using good hand washing technique. Cleaning our equipment and doing the things to emit standard precautions. There's not, there's additional concerns, but it's not the overwhelming stress. It is a little stressful when you think about you get into someone's home. What I deal with personally is the population that seems to be the most at risk also is the most at risk for being misinformed and or not being informed at all or not aware, and in some cases not even able to process the new learning that's necessary to protect themselves and to help prevent the spread of disease.
Right.
That's a
So
great point
It
right there.
is.
You work with a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia patients. I suppose that certainly brings in a whole new level of challenge during a pandemic like this.
Mm-hmm.
exactly, trying to educate somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's to practice certain hygiene things that were not in place before is likely not going to happen. And so there's a different set of challenges that are evoked with that. Yeah.
So you do your particular, you know, specialty in speech pathology. You do a lot of swallowing, things like that, and this particular virus affects breathing and the breathing passage. How does that relate with the swallowing and the throat stuff that you deal with, and how has that really changed, or has it changed anything that you look for?
Well, as far as you know, risk control and protection and things like that, swallowing therapy being, there's increased risk of infection just because of the close proximity that you are to someone's oral cavity. And so, as we discussed with the dementia patient and being able to know to necessarily cover a cough, and you're in close proximity with a patient, you really have to be your own self advocate as far as protecting yourself from infection in those close quarters there, being up and working in somebody's mouth and dealing with bodily secretions, specifically oral secretions and secretions that work directly with the respiratory system.
Got it. So with all of this, and we've, watched the news and seen the fact that all of the tips and you mentioned the wash your hands. Are there additional tips that you can share with us that maybe aren't as public knowledge out there that we should be doing to make sure that we're staying safe?
Well, the big thing that I would say is social distancing. That can't be expressed enough. Um, social distancing is fundamental to getting control of this virus. Using good hand hygiene. Um, let's see, making sure that you're cleaning areas that are that are touched frequently. That's an important aspect of self of keeping yourself safe. Um, Here's the thing is another thing, hand hygiene can be soap and water. Make sure you're washing for an adequate amount of time, getting all surfaces of the hand, using hand sanitizer, avoid touching your face. Um, if someone is sick, they should be wearing a face mask to try to prevent the spread. Something that I've seen a lot of is people are using tissues, but they're not disposing of the tissue promptly, or they're not using good hand hygiene after they use the tissue. So remembering to do those additional things sometimes can be challenging. We talked about cleaning surfaces. Right now, we have this issue with the hoarding situation going on.
Right.
Don't forget about basic cleaning supplies, bleach. You can use 5 tablespoons or a third cup of bleach to a gallon of water. Alcohol solutions that are 70% alcohol is a good, effective way to disinfect. Um, the number one thing I think people can do to prevent or to protect themselves is to protect themselves from misinformation. Social media is full of misinformation. People are buying into what they're reading, and so they're either overconfident that they're protected, or they're underconfident.
Yeah.
So
There's some
um,
crazy stuff out there.
yes, so just use use tried and true information sources. Don't necessarily, just because you read it on Facebook, it doesn't make it true.
Right.
Um, you know, there's
So
there's lots of
basically,
things.
we all need to be washing our damn hands, right?
Exactly. Wash your hands, clean your house,
And stay away
clean
from
the
others.
stay away from other people. Yeah, you know, it's pretty basic. Keeping areas like doorknobs and countertops and things like that we touch frequently.
Light switches.
Light, exactly, light switches and things that when you go, try to, try not to everybody in the house go to town. One person, they have a designated person that does the trips into town, and that person, when they come back, have a routine for, okay, well, I'm not going to carry these shoes that I just wore into a possibly infected area. I'm going to leave these outside, or I'm going to leave these in a plastic container, and these will be my designated shoes that I'm going to wear to the grocery store, or when I could possibly be exposed to something that I could be carrying back to my home.
So it's not about fashion while we're out right now. We're just wearing the same
No.
utilitarian outfit that we wear every day when we go outside. People are like, that person only has one set of clothes.
Well, it's not so much the clothes. I mean, when you come in, if you are out in town and you're around several people, I would recommend coming in, going ahead and strip them down, and wash those clothes. So it doesn't have to be the same clothes, but things like shoes that we don't wash after we wear them.
Yeah.
I would pick a pair of
outside shoes
or a pair of shoes that that you can set aside for that function, and then when you come in, just drop them in a plastic container by themselves, where they're isolated from the rest of the wardrobe and not likely to rub up against something and transfer. I personally just went and bought a pair of shoes that are very similar to Crocs, but just because of their cleanability, and I can spray them down with whatever, and it's really not going to hurt them. But they're not very fashionable, but they are effective. And my thing is I take them off in the garage, and they don't ever go into my house.
Those are all really, really good tips.
Yeah, Lonnie, that's a lot. We appreciate you being with us today. Thank you so much for being a guest, and please stay safe out there.
Oh, I will. And then, Jason, I just have one thing that I do want people to understand is, this is a really tough time for everybody. So just everybody try to sit back for a minute and just practice being kind, be patient with each other, try to be helpful, and do be responsible and diligent in verifying information before you pass on information that is going to promote hysteria and fear and promote things that are going to result in hoarding and unnecessary steps that are creating more problems on top of a big problem that we already have.
Right. You're so right.
That's a very great point. I mean, in reality, it's just, be kind and think of others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be kind. Realize everybody's carrying a big load right now, and the poor people that's working at Walmart right now, I wouldn't want to be them for anything, and on top of their full-time jobs in Walmart, they're going home. A lot of them are going home. They're being a parent and a spouse, and now they're being a school teacher. In some cases, they're the baseball coach and the dance teacher, and so they're putting on a lot of hats on top of working their shift and sometimes double shifts, and everybody's getting tired and everybody's wore out. Just be kind to each other and be patient and we'll get through it. It's just going to take time.
We're all in this together.
We are.
Well, thanks so much for being
Exactly.
with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking me to call in today.
Well, we appreciate it,
Yes,
and
thanks, Lonnie.
we'll love to have you back.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too,
Bye
girl.
bye. All right, we're to your favorite segment of the show.
We are. We've made it.
Shit we're into.
Shit we're into.
Shit we are into.
What have we been into lately?
You know, yesterday we talked about the Tiger King, and that's a lot of entertainment things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's stuff to kind of get your mind off of what is going on right now. The fact that we can't go to work every day, we're not doing the same things within our office, within the community that we would do on a standard basis. And right now, because we're both small business owners or we're both business owners, I mean, things that have been, you know, our forethought has been, how do we make it through this?
Exactly.
You know, we talked earlier in the show about the businesses that are closing their doors already. And unfortunately, you know, several that are closing their doors that aren't coming back.
Yeah.
We certainly don't want to be those statistics.
We don't. We absolutely don't want to be those statistics. And we have found ourselves in front of our laptops a lot lately.
It's constantly, you know, so, you know, the rent, if you don't own your facility, the rent doesn't stop.
It does not. Rent does not stop. And
Utilities go down a little bit, but they don't stop.
Nope.
We still have employees that in somewhat shape or form, we don't want to lose. We understand that they didn't choose to be in this situation either.
No.
And so, you know, we want to be able to keep them on and
We got to take care of them as best we can.
pay them the best that we can. At the same time, you know, the business needs to be there when, you know, for the community when
all of this blows
is over.
Yeah.
So, you know, some things that we've, you know, been doing is looking at the SBA disaster loan programs.
We have been all over that website.
We've looked at, and it changes daily for those of you that, you know, if you have a small business, we certainly want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
We want to know what it is that you're doing. I know, you know, there's, you know, Facebook supposedly had some grants out there that you could apply for. The Arkansas Economic Development Council has had some grant money that they've been provided, and they're going to be.
They're trying to
out.
work through all that.
The SBA has the disaster relief. They have some employee or some employee compensation plans that they've got out there. A lot of different things. And
there's so many different things, and it's kind of hard to navigate. Which is the best, and which route do I go? Can I go both of these? Can I go down both of these roads? Can I go down none of them? What's the deal?
And I wish we were an expert, or I wish we had an expert that wanted to come on our show and
so
talk.
If you are,
talk to the small business owners
shout.
that are going to be listening, because we do know that a good portion of the folks that follow us, follow our show, are other local entrepreneurs. This is something, it's one of those, there's so many paths and you don't know, and they're pretty overwhelming. The amount of documentation that they're asking for.
It is.
If you don't go and fill out paperwork for loans often, which, you know, is a lot of you know, personal financial information, business financial information, lots of years, lots of applications, projections, P&Ls, balance sheets, all of those types of things.
You just said a whole lot of letters.
A lot of letters. And then on top of that, there's all of the additional red tape that goes with the, you know, bureaucracy of this being.
You've got to get it just right.
A federal program that, you know, you have to additionally fill in all the boxes. And it's kind of like you said, if I qualify for this one, will I miss that one?
Right.
You know, how do those things work?
How do you navigate it all? It's a lot.
Lots of questions. We're going to post some links that we're using for information down in the comments section of this video, or down in the description, so that, you know, if you're local and you're looking, if you're a business owner and you're looking for some tools and resources, and if you find other things that might work, please share them with us so that we can share them with everybody else, and post them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you.
We would. One of the resources that I found that has helped me out so much through all of this, navigating these weird waters, is the Arkansas Small Business Technology and Development Center. They are super helpful, and we'll post a link to the website I think they're doing like free webinars and stuff like that this week. So they've got some really kind of cool stuff to try to keep business moving while we're at this standstill.
Absolutely. Well, we'll post that in the description so that you guys can check that out if you want to check out one of their webinars. I'm sure that they're really a lot of value.
Yeah. So, tell us what shit are you into right now? We'd love to talk about it. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below. And, y'all come back for another show tomorrow. We've got another special guest. She is one of my very good friends, Shannon Craig. She's a holistic health and life coach. And she's going to talk about living that social distancing life and how we can make the most of it during this time.
Yeah, Shannon's a wealth of information.
She is. She's awesome.
She's got a lot of good energy. So
yes.
Shannon's going to bring the energy tomorrow. Let's do that. Right now, is there something that you want to hear? Is there something that you want to hear us talk about? Right now, during this situation, we plan to bring you a new show every day. So is there something that you want us to talk about? Do you want to be a guest on the show? Is there something you can bring value to? Have you got something that you want to promote? Or would you like to sponsor the show? We'd love to, if you're a small business and we can help you during this situation through this time, we'd love to talk about your business. Leave us a comment, send us a message. We want to hear from you. So please stay in touch, stay engaged.
Yes. And, stay safe. Stay safe out there. Thanks for shooting the shit with us today, you guys. So stay safe, wash your damn hands, and stay the fuck home. Stay the fuck home. Also, if you like what you hear today, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, share it with your friends. And, if you really like us, you can turn on that little notification bell and it'll tell you when we post a new video.
We need your help. The channel needs to grow. So we need new subscribers. We need new followers.
Share it with your friends.
We've got everything. All of the links are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We're all over the internet, everybody.
Smalltalkarkansas.com is the website. And we appreciate you being here with us today. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Yep.